Welcome back to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. We are talking Tobago Thursdays, and with fisherfolk making sure that their livelihood is taken care of. An important discussion that we're having this morning is exactly that. The perspective of those fisherfolk through the president of All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, Mr. Curtis Douglas, who joins us now. Good morning, Mr. Douglas, and welcome.
Good morning, Ayanka, and good morning to the loyal listeners and followers of this station. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, but I know the topic will be kind of edgy and not so comfortable for the people of Trinidad and also Tobago.
Well, discomfort is one price to pay because we need the information and the discussion to be had. As the president, you should be able to give us oversight for a number of the subgroups in Tobago where this hot topic is concerned. Could you describe to us the overall feeling or thoughts of the fisherfolk at the moment?
Well, basically, right now on the ground, there's a level of tension growing in the sand or in the waters of, more so Tobago and also Trinidad, because there's a Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And the fisherfolk in Tobago, although people are saying one thing, we are seeing the next. And what we are seeing is a level of fear that is raising in the hearts of the fisher folks in Tobago of their livelihood and also of their lives, and to be able to maintain their families with the growing concern with the United States standoff with Venezuela. So yes, they are very concerned, and at least we are not seeing anything of any mitigated circumstances or emergency situation, put in place to charter the way forward for the fishing industry and also to protect our food security in Tobago and Trinidad.
Food security is a big part of the discussion, of course, but livelihoods and lives being foremost. There are different associations that contribute, if you will, to the ATFA, different locations and perhaps different levels of involvement. Are there any sort of disparities or different perspectives or concerns being raised, or primarily the livelihood and well-being is the top priority? That's it.
Yeah, well, the livelihood and the safety of the fisherfolk, because there's a sense of fear and concern that is going, because normally where fisherfolk goes out to, very rare they go into international waters,
Of course.
right? But we don't know when it could affect us in that sense, meaning that we go sometime 30, 40 miles, and we don't know or when a boat could be mistaken and could be blown out of the water by many different agencies. Because for years, I made no mistake, the drug trade that is taking place within Trinidad and Tobago on the high seas in the waters, it is real. Make no mistake, anyone have any doubts about it, I am confirming it today. It is not a joke. It is real human trafficking, and the influx of Venezuelans in our waters, running fishermen on the fishing ground. It is real. So this is not something new. This is something that's been happening over the years. I've been making current calls over the years to this association as the president to see how best we could adhere and see how best we could curb it. And now I have to say we are seeing a level of tension in the water, because there is no telling our fishermen we do not carry arms. Venezuelan fishermen carry arms. They are arms. So it is easy for them to chase us out of our waters. And I know you would have heard of numerous stories in Trinidad where Trinidadian boats get shut up to Venezuela's. It's a normal thing where the custom running us out of the waters. But the drug trade in Trinidad and Tobago waters and arms trade and illegal trade, it is real. And finally something has been done about it.
So, Mr. Douglas, granted that we've acknowledged the reality of it, you're introducing the idea that it's not a new concept and an ongoing conversation. Let's talk about the entities that you may have reached out to have these conversations and begin the process or continue processes of bettering the conditions for the fisherfolk. Are there any entities that you have been in contact with, government or otherwise, that have supported positive outcomes?
Well, it started back from the former government. We would have wrote to them, informing them about our stance and the pressure and the heartache and the big stones and nails and tacks and broken bottles that are in the shoes of the fisher folks of Tobago. We would have informed them. And I would have also informed the Prime Minister about this situation, highlighting the situation that the fisher folks in Tobago are undergoing by these invaders, right? It's not only Venezuelans, we would have had even make mention, but the Bajan fisher folk are not hostile. The Venezuelan fisher folk are very hostile. So we would have informed, we would have by terms of letter to the Prime Minister, informing her as she would have resumed office on the 29th of April this year, and making aware because the former government seemed not to do anything about it. So we would have informed the relevant authorities.
And in those conversations, those attempts to create dialogue, can you share with us some of the suggestions or things you'd have hoped to see or discuss?
Well, basically, I just want to make something clear before I even get into that, right? Trinidad and Tobago is not at war with Venezuela. The United States are the one that they are the aggressor against Venezuela, and they would have alleged to say they destroyed boats carrying drugs, narcotics drugs. We didn't destroy anybody. So when I'm hearing that the vice president of Venezuela is making threat to the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago and the minister of national security or defense is making threat, we were never aggressor of attack or damage or hurt any Venezuelan. As a matter of fact, we've been complaining about our fishermen going missing in the waters of Venezuela, right? We are not the aggressor. So I'm finding this very, very, very disrespectful. You're very disrespectful to even start calling the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, calling her names. I find that is so immoral. And I must say, they are behaving like oxymorons because by the end of the day, what they need to do is have proper dialogue with the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, which is the Prime Minister,
So,
not to
Mr.
be
Douglas,
selling threat. We don't like that.
and
And
I
the fisher folk
understand that
ain't appreciating that. We ain't
we can
appreciate
understand
it.
that
And they're
perspective.
very concerned about that.
So, towards the end of making those dialogues productive, if you were to give me some salient points that you'd like to hear explored, maybe we can start that process. What exactly do
Well,
you
what
think
we
is the
need to
best approach or the key components that we need to look at towards making the waters safer?
All right. So the key component is to work alongside, have proper dialogue with the Venezuelan national or the prime minister as such, because we see the vice president doesn't have that skill or capability, and have proper dialogue between the minister of foreign affairs and also locally we must have what we call an emergency plan in the event because we would threaten that they are going to attack us if we are to facilitate America. Uh, so what we need to do, we need to have all the fisher folks in Trinidad and Tobago alongside with the Coast Guard and the Minister of National Security and Homeland Security, as it may be, and let's put out a plan. So in the event of anything should escalate, the fisher folk will play a very pertinent part in the marine space to protect our borders. The same way, I don't want to give away too much, but the same way how Venezuela is arming their citizens, we also have to be wise and intelligent and prepare if it should go otherwise. So we must have that collaboration with the fisher folk because in the event that Tobago, we cater for tourism and we should have anything like dead bodies. It must be controlled, right? It must be controlled. So here is where the fishermen play a pertinent part, trying to retrieve and to monitor and control any sort of that happening, any dead bodies washing ashore or any boats going into any kind of damage the reef and stuff. We must be able to protect our marine space and our marine resources.
I'm
So
hearing
we need to work along with the police, the Coast Guard, the Army. We need to sit together and work out a plan that will benefit the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago because every life of Trinidad and Tobago, Tobagonian counts.
Of course it does, Mr. Douglas. I'm hearing that old adage of prevention being better than cure. So ultimately, dialogues are the hope. But if fisherfolk generally, not just from Tobago, but Trinidad as well, want to be part of these collaborative conversations, how can we connect with ATFA?
Well, ATFA number is ATFA is not a stranger to the government. We are not a stranger to Trinidad and Tobago. We are NGOs. They know my email. Sophie know my phone number.
But share
TTT
it for
know
those
my
who
number.
don't.
The government know Fisherfolk. But anyone can contact me. On All Tobago Fisherfolk Association at gmail.com. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So that's
Now,
our email address. And 706-6198. Let me repeat,
nice.
706-6198. And we are here because this is what we need, a collaborative effort so that Trinidad and Tobago shall win. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago must win. But together we can do it.
Well, we will be joining you because this is an ongoing conversation to get more updates and progress as things continue. But Mr. Douglas, we do appreciate your contributions this morning to opening that dialogue. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Sophie, and thank you to all our loyal followers and listeners. And from Tobago, love, we only spread love, and we are peaceful in Trinidad and Tobago, and we intend to remain peaceful and coexist with each other in harmony. Together we aspire, together we must achieve. So thank you for
Mr.
having
Curtis
me.
Douglas, the president of All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, joining us to give us some perspective on the Tobago fishermen concerns with the airstrikes. Guys, the continued conversations here on the Now will be ones that you want to have. Come back after these messages.
We don't want no war. We don't want no war.